Today I am joined by my beautiful girlfriend as we get rid of this FA20. You all know the troubles that this engine brings, from its weak rods to its leaky gaskets, and today is finally the day that we get rid of one of them. My good old FRS still has its FA20. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere anytime soon, at least. You know, we gotta paint it first. But the engine that my dad had rod knocked out of his BRZ has just been sitting in the garage for who knows how long now, and I figured might as well just free up some space and get rid of it. I had plans for the longest time to use it as a spare block just to maybe build, but I just don't overall trust the FA20 platform as a whole. And if I were to ever do any type of engine swap or really just want to make big power, I would just swap out to something else. All right, Jess, it's quiz time.
Oh no.
What is this? Everything about it. What is it?
An engine.
Yes. What is this? What does it look like?
You've not taught me that one yet.
I know. That's an oil filter.
What do you mean, what does it look like?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. These engines are no good. That's easy to understand, right? Yeah.
Yep. Let me point out the welded diff.
There's no welded diff on this one, Jess. Sorry to inform you. I know you're all about the welded diffs. So this engine came out of my dad's BRZ. It has 63,000 miles on it. And what we believe happened, I don't know if it hydrolocked or if when we had done a valve cover job, or not the valve cover, but that's the front timing chain cover, we might have put a little bit too much sealant, and then that sealant blocked the oil pickup and then starved what we think was cylinder 2 or 3 of oil, and then spun a bearing. In reality, it only ran for about 30 seconds before we cut it off, pulled it, and then swapped in another engine with, I think, 40 or 50,000 miles. I know some of you might think it's a little sad that I am ditching the FA20 platform, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not, because I still have one in the FRS. But it'll be good to free up some additional garage space, especially as we make good headway on getting the FRS painted. One addition that we made this year for Christmas, we've got a nice big 80-gallon Ingersoll Rand compressor. It pushes enough CFM for basically all of the prep and paint work that we will ever need to do on the FRS, as well as for any other cars that will need paint. Mainly, you know, that one. I mean, look at it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Nacho. You don't like Jess, do you? He's a little squirmy today, huh, Nacho?
You just don't like being picked up, but you love me.
So long, FA20. What's funny is the guy said that he watched the video that my dad and I put out of us removing the engine, so he knows exactly what he's getting himself into. But what can I say? Good riddance. Excuse me, Miss Jess? Does the engine crane look like a toy to you?
Yes.
Well, it's not, but hey, at least you're having fun, right? Well, Jess left me because she realized she doesn't even like me all that much. But at least I still have my FRS. And Nacho. Come here, Nacho. Show everyone your new jacket. You staying warm out in this cold Florida weather? Anyways, I was kidding about the Jess stuff, but we do have a few things we need to unwrap/unbox. One being my True Focus Fab rear bash bar for the FRS. Now that I think about it, I don't really want to unwrap it. Since it's unpainted, it will be susceptible to rust, so we'll go ahead and just keep it in the packaging. But it's nice to know that I finally have this thing in my possession. It has the rear jack point, so if I ever do decide to drift the car again, I won't have to finagle up underneath the car to get to the diff, to lift it up to swap out the tires. This essentially means that I have no use for the Rocket Bunny V3 diffuser, since that bash bar requires you to trim out the backside of the bumper. OEM bumpers have that little diffuser section that's made of like fake carbon fiber, which I've already cut out on my brand new OEM bumper. And if I remember correctly, you actually don't have to do this at all. You can still fit the bash bar up underneath without having to do all of this trimming. But for the look that I'm going with on the FRS, I figured might as well trim it out, and then maybe we can paint the bash bar some cool color. I know like maybe 6 months ago, I was teasing at some potential colors for the FRS. I ended up choosing one, but now I think I'm falling back and trying to think of another one. But either way, it's such a struggle to figure out what color I want to paint, especially now that I'm doing all the paint work myself. And speaking of painting, we have to finish up wiring up the compressor. I already have my 8-gauge power wire sent through the attic, so that's all squared away. But as far as drying the compressed air, I am still going through the whole setup that I'm going to run. For those of you that are unfamiliar, when you compress air, when it comes out of the cylinder head going into the tank, so from this line into the tank, the air gets really hot. And as that air cools off, it condensates and creates water. You do not want any water in your air lines when you're painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run to Lowe's tonight to buy a bunch of copper lines and hardware to run a path on the back side of the garage wall with ball valves at the bottom of each leg to basically allow all that condensation to fall due to gravity and then to blow it out before all that air gets to the paint gun. There are many different setups that you can use to dry your compressed air, and this seems to be the cheapest and most effective method. And that's something that Drift Dad and I are going to be working on this weekend, so expect a video on that in the future. But keep in mind, we are amateurs when it comes to this stuff, so don't take what we say so seriously, but we know we can give you some general tips and ideas on setups. And also, shout out to Seat Time Charlie for helping me out with some questions that I had on compressor lines and all that. It's great to know that out of this little community that I have, that I can get some help when I need it. Other thing that we need to unbox, it's actually right up here on the hood of the FRS. You know, I haven't drifted in so long that I feel like I just don't want to drift in real life anymore, so why not do it via remote control? And I apologize in advance for clickbaiting you all into thinking that I wasn't going to be drifting anymore, or that I am ditching the FA20 platform, which technically I already have, but still have the engine in the FRS. But I have just been wanting one of these things ever since I was in Orlando and used my buddy Stevens. It's made by MST, and it's the RMX 2.0 RTR. Don't know what any of that means, but all I know is that this is basically the best out-of-the-box RC drift car you can get. And I already know I'm going to get lots of comments saying, "Oh, Alan, you gave up real drifting so you could remote control drift?" Yes, in essence I have, but I've made it one of my goals to find a house before I get back out on track, which realistically we'll see how long that lasts. But I'm stoked to finally have this thing, so let's go ahead and get it out of the box. Ain't she a beaut? Look at how much steering angle it gets too. Nice. And I just love the fact that they sell a white FRS. Because, for those of you that know, my FRS used to be white. So it's like a little homage to the good old days. And it looks pretty spot on too. Like, see, that's the diffuser I was telling you guys about that they cut out of the rear bumper. Some other things that I forgot to show. We got a battery charger. The battery itself, and then I figured we had to ball out and get some wheels. Man, I feel like such a kid doing this, but it's so much fun. Mike. Well, we got the RC car all put together. Mike's out here trying to get some seat time. Yeah. I think he's doing a decent job. What do you think, Vic?
Oh, clearly not.
Look, watch this. Mike, I swear, if you hit the FRS with my FRS... What was that?
I ain't doing that.
Oh, nice, Mike. Nice.
I didn't do it. You think I'm any better?
All right. We're gonna go for a high-speed entry.
Wow, you should really go back to real drifting. You quit drifting to play with a toy RC car.
Oh, is that it?
That was
Well, guys, that's going to be it for this video. We need to run off to Lowe's. Mike needs to lay some pipe, so we got to pick up some copper piping to do the compressor stuff. And it's almost the time that Lowe's closes, so we need to run out there, get everything, and then get to work on getting that compressor all hooked up. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap a like on it, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.